Welcome to the Small Steps, Big Wins podcast. I'm dedicated to helping you take control of your life. Together, we'll explore practical tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories to help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Making small changes is possible and can lead to big results. Are you ready? Let's go do this. Hey friends, so as we pop into another Wednesday wisdom, I was thinking about stories. Now, all of us, whether we want to admit it or not, have a story to our life. Now, you might think that your story is amazing. You might think that your story is laced with all kinds of baggage, like emotional trauma or past regrets or mistakes, or perhaps your story is just, one of a miraculous recovery, or one where you turned your life around and went in a completely different direction than what you thought you would. I wanted to think some more and ponder about those stories and realizing that there are two ways that you can look at your story. Now, the first is you can either ruminate and go backwards into your stories. And for some reason, the brain always wants to go to those negative stories, don't they? They find those ones that you don't like about yourself. But, I want you to think about the idea that you can write a future version of yourself. You can write a future story of yourself and craft the life that you want. One of my guests who was recently on the podcast, his name's Andrew Freed. We had a great engaging conversation, and he asked me at the end, do I believe in wizards? And I had to laugh because it was an interesting question. Not only was it interesting, but honestly, it caught me off guard, and I thought it was a trick question. I had to think about it for a minute, and I asked the question back to him. I said, Andrew, do you believe in wizards? And he said, of course I believe in wizards. And I said, okay, tell me why. And he says, we all have within us that ability to dream and that ability to think forward. The problem is that we don't tap into that and we don't envision ourselves in the future and have that future version of ourselves in mind. And I said to him, of course, I agree 100%. So all of us within us have that wizard power available. So I tell you that story to get you to start thinking about where you drop yourself into your story. Do you allow your past to pull you back and keep you stuck where you are? Or can you use your past story to empower you, to pull you forward? So your small step for today is to dive into your story and see where you want to go. And I would encourage you to find a quiet place. Sit down and envision a future version of yourself. Now, if you're wondering what I think about stories, well, I realized the power of stories and story work after I hired my coach. And he took me through a process of unpacking my stories from childhood, young adult years, and even as recently as the last couple of years. And as I wrote my stories out and I interacted with them, they allowed me to release some of the negative thoughts and feelings that I had around those stories. I'm very grateful for my coach, and I'm grateful for him being an outside perspective of what's going on inside of me. Some people say coaches are mirrors. They help you see what you can't when you look in the mirror. But I think a coach, a really skilled coach, is so much more. To me, not only did my coach reflect back to me what he saw, but he also pointed me towards a better future version of myself. So, what's your small step for today? Well, take out a piece of paper, grab a pen or pencil, find a quiet place, and write out the future version of you in a story. So, if any of this resonated with you and you want to dig more into your stories, I would encourage you to either reach out to me or you can go to my website, personalcoachfinder.com. And there I have a list of incredible coaches, including mine. I personally have interviewed them, or, all of them at some point will be on the podcast. So we have some great people there. And friends, if you got any value out of this, please share it with someone you know. And remember, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by choice. Go ahead and make today awesome, friends. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Small Steps, Big Wins podcast. I value your time with me, and I seek to make every moment count. In order to make lasting change in your life, listening is usually not enough.
So I want to ask you, what practical steps are you going to put into action today as a result of listening to this podcast? Remember, any step, any action, no matter how small, starts your journey to a big win. And if you're not sure where to get started, check out my website, personalcoachfinder.com, and find someone who can help. Remember, life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by choice. Take small steps today and make your life awesome, friends.